Alright, so what is up, everybody? This is not part of the 371 video series. So this is kind of a history thing that I'm gonna tell you guys. I know a lot of you guys do not like me talking about a history thing or something like that, but the history of this is gonna be the history of the Green Iron Gang farm. I never talk about this ever on the channel, but why not talk about it on the? Why not talk about it in the two videos that I'm gonna put up here? I'll be putting up one other video, so I'll be putting up 3 videos, but the two videos are gonna have history of the Green Iron Gang farm, and then the other one is gonna be of some other something else. So let's continue. So the Green Iron Gang is basically made up of I think 12 farmers. I'm no, not 12. I think there's more than 12. I think there's like 15 to 20 of us. I don't know if there's like 20 of us. I think there's like 20 of us overall, but I think there's like, I want to say 15. I think 15 farmers. I think we got. Well, I got 14 other workers on the farm, I think. And then we got a few girls who do book work. Isaiah Woodley, he has given up his farming, but he still has his farm up and going. So he still owns his farm, but he just doesn't farm it, so we farm it for him. He doesn't combine no more, no planting, anything like that, I don't think. So he's with the ladies and doing book work with all them. So what we used to do is we used to just see what all gets done. The book work would usually get sent off to the. We usually see what happens. Well, what we used to do is we used to have baggage. We didn't have, well, not baggage, but we had book work wagons that we used to have, where each, I don't know, every 2 to 3 years we would take both book work wagons. We just load them up. The people load them up with like bills and other things that we have to pay. That has to be paid off. So then one girl would drive the 8RX 370 that we now have, and it would pull the two baggage. Well, I should say 2 baggage wagons. They would load those wagons up, bring them back, and then they would get to work on them. Usually they have them done practically done in about an hour or 2. Sometimes it takes them the entire night to get it done. And then usually there's no girls around on the farm for a while because book work is all done and they're tired and stuff. But let's talk about the farm. So we basically own, I think, close to 50,000 acres of corn and soybeans. We only own about, I think it's about 100 acres of Sour Patch Kids, which that's always been owned by Isaiah. Isaiah always harvests that by himself every year while I come out there and help him just by hauling them back for him. use the old straight truck. So then So yeah, 50,000 acres of corn and soybeans. Unless you add the 2 other farms that we have, then you add up to about 200,000 acres. So we have a lot of acres that go through in the fall, and then we own at least, I'd say, close to roughly to 500 acres of hay, because there's 5 fields of hay that are both, well, I should say probably about, and then we also have like 50,000 acres of hay. Each one is about 10,000 acres, because we got one at the farm, one at the main farm, 2 at the dairy farm, and then 2 up at Fuller's. We're hopefully gonna get our 6th hay field in, because Devin's gonna. I don't know if what Devin's gonna do. I don't know. I haven't asked him yet. So yeah, we're basically gonna get stuff done, ready to go. The wagons have all been checked over. All the trucks have been been looked over. They have not been started up yet. The trucks have not been started up yet. How many trucks do we got? We got roughly around, I want to say close to 5 semis and 1 international grain truck, which is an oldie. Still runs good for its money. And we also got an old Freightliner straight truck. And, well, I should say not a straight truck, but a grain truck. And then we got, we got 1 more. I think it's only, I don't know what kind of truck it is. I think it's like an old, I want to say, I think it's like a prototype Western Star grain truck. It's fairly old. Runs like a top, but it's a bitch to start. Because you gotta have your foot on the gas. Then you gotta use this hand to turn the key, and then you gotta use this hand to pull the choke, and you have to pull it, and you have to do it all at the same time. Push the gas, turn the key, and pull the choke, and it runs like a top. Yeah, a lot of things to start it. If you do not have the choke on, she'll cough, she'll splutter, and she will die. So yeah, but they all do their part. We had a lot of, we hauled a lot of grain with those trucks, especially during the winter, because sometimes the roads would be icy, and the only trucks that could go out were the straight trucks. Not too many farmers had straight trucks. Well, not too many farmers had grain trucks anyway. Not too many farmers had grain trucks because they go to the modern semis and stuff. There's been about, I don't know, closely the most I've seen around there at the elevator is practically about 10 sitting in line sometimes, 10 at the most, which is very rare. Basically, you only get to see 1 or 2 still in line or something like that. Yeah. But I'm going to go through some of the workers that work on the farm, help out with the farm work and stuff. So, Benton Bixby, Gus Varney, Will Texter, Tyler Nistel, Cade Fuller, Dane Fuller, and then Devin Kolash, and then Zach Waters. And then there's Carter Sherwood. And then there's... Yeah, and then there was Isaiah, but since Isaiah is now doing book work with the ladies, so now, yeah, I think we're just down to about 11 workers, well, except for Nick Reineke. So we basically got like 11. And then, let's see here. Not much else. I think Jacob, well, I don't know if Jacob Stockdale is part of it. I think Jacob Stockdale is. He's not, yeah, he's on the Green Iron Gang. So there's basically 12 of us in all. We usually have help during the fall. This year, Jenna and Maya are gonna help the boys run trucks. Yeah. Of course, somebody has to be there to start the tractor up and run the PTO on the tractor. So, yeah. But otherwise, we do a good job. We got roughly, we'll have close to 10 combines once the X9 comes back after its 10 years of being overhauled. The reason for that was because last year when we got it, she wouldn't stay running, and finally, I don't know, I think it was Cade Fuller who was running the combine at the time on our last field. Gave her too much throttle because he thought it was going to die. He pushed the throttle too far. And she wanted to stay running, and finally, boom, you could just hear the loud shatter of what sounded to be like the X9 exploding. It didn't explode, but the engine compartment blew out the back of the combine, and the engine was in a complete state. It was a complete disaster. Everything collapsed inside, concaves, everything inside, all busted and everything. Cut some wires in the combine, and no fire started, luckily. So now, once we got it to the shop, I mean, she wouldn't even move. Like, the hydraulic power steering pump that's in the combine, which is really high tech now, that had a puncturing leak, and it finally decided to seize up in it, and done. Couldn't even fire the combine up. So we dragged her to the edge of the field, and we had her hauled off the John Deere's to get it fixed. Got the manager there at John Deere said that it'd be close to 10 years before we get it back. So that's why I bought the a 9750 12-row corn head and a 936 FD. So yeah, it's bad enough that we gotta do harvest 2021 without the X9 this year. So that means the S780 and the S790 will have to pick up the slack. But anyway, that's it for this video. See you guys later.